Let's talk about how to get water into our tank of our Revel. Down in the lower left corner of our water panel here, we have a little plug that is a dust cover. I'm gonna pull this out and it's gonna expose some threads and a place where your hose is gonna screw right on. Now, when you're doing this, you don't want to over tighten this too much, but you don't want to under tighten it so it's leaking water into your Revel. And as you practice this a little bit and you do it a few times, you're going to figure out that sweet spot of how much you need to tighten it to keep it from leaking and to get that water in. The next thing you're going to notice here is there's a series of levers. They're color coded and they correspond with a neat little chart here that tells you all the different configurations of these levers and what they do. So with that said, I'm going to give you a little overview of the options. The top one on the left says dry camping. Dry camping is the setting that we would want to have this when we're just out and about and using our Revel. This means our tanks are already full and we want to use the shower, we want to use the faucet, and we just want water to flow normally. That is the dry camping setting. The next one down, we have the power fill tank. This is what you would use if you're trying to get water from the faucet at a campground through your hose and into your tank. You're going to set it to the power fill tank setting, okay? The next one over in the middle of the 5, there is a city water setting. Now, city water isn't as useful for this Revel as it would be in some of the other RVs that Winnebago makes. City water means that you would permanently leave your hose attached, you would run it to a faucet, you would turn that faucet on, and when you turn your faucet's on inside your van, it's gonna basically use the city water pressure to pump that water through your faucets and water runs. The problem with that in a Revel is our doors are here and they open and close, and we don't want to shut the hose in the doors. And so really this isn't a setting that's gonna pertain to a Revel user. Then the next one on the bottom side on the right, we have sanitize. This allows you to siphon water from the tank from an exterior source. So it could be a tank, it could be a bucket, it could be a jug of fresh water that you've bought at a store. Allow you to siphon that into your tank using a small chunk of hose. And this is kind of nice if you have to fill somewhere and your hose just can't absolutely reach, but you maybe have some sort of water container that you can use to pump from. Another feature of the sanitize function is it allows you to sanitize your tank, meaning you can siphon some water into your system and straight into your tank using another bucket, and maybe you do a little bit of a bleach water or some sort of a sanitizing liquid that's made for RVs, something that's RV safe, and it's going to allow you to pump it in and kind of clean out your tanks, run that through a few times with a lot of fresh water, and sanitize any little critters that might be living in there. So that is the sanitize function. I think for us Revelers that it gives us two options of an external way to fill and a way to sanitize our tanks, which is really how it was designed. The next step up says winterize. Now this is gonna allow us to pump RV safe, non-toxic antifreeze that's made for an RV plumbing system. You can get this at any Winnebago dealer. And this is gonna allow us to pump this up. It's not gonna go into our tank. I'm gonna show you in another video how to drain all the water from your tank. But this is gonna pump it up and it's gonna go through all your plumbing pipes, through your fixtures, and into your drains, and into your gray tank. And it's gonna allow you to pump this antifreeze. So this would be like if you're gonna store your Revel over a winter and you're not gonna use it, you would wanna do this if you're gonna have the heat off. And you don't wanna have any water in there that could potentially freeze and damage your plumbing. Another thing we've got at the very top of the water control panel is a cold and a hot. This is going to allow us to use the rear shower. I love this rear shower. You have a brass fitting here. It would go in and you just literally push this in. It'll make a little click. You'll feel a little tension from a spring and it's secured. Then you have a regular shower head. And now I have a water pump switch over here. I'm gonna flip it and you noticed it made a little growling sound. That means that the water pump is working and is turned on. Then I'm gonna turn on the cold water. This control on the shower head allows us to turn the water off and on without turning the dials. So you can keep your temperature how you want it, but more importantly, it allows you to conserve water and to take showers, you know, kind of a Navy bath style, where we aren't using a ton of water, and just to be efficient. I'm gonna disconnect the shower head now. I'm gonna make sure that my water is turned off, which would be turned with the top part going to the right. I'm then now going to push this button and it's gonna come out. Now there might be a little water in my hose, so I'm gonna drain this out side of the Revel. If you open this valve, it'll go a little faster. And now this is ready to be stowed again. I'll put it right back here. Also included with your Revel is this blue, kind of a slinky type hose. This plugs on the exact same way, but instead of the shower head on the end, this has more of a sprayer. This is great if you're at the beach and you need to, you know, wash off the dog, get sand off your feet, get sand off your surfboard, anything like that. It's great to have a little more pressure behind it than the shower head gives. Now we're gonna move over here to the upper right corner, right in here, and we have our water pump switch. When it is on, there is a red light that is illuminated. You might also hear it if it needs to pressurize when you first turn it on. That's normal. On the top of the control panel on the right side, underneath the pump switch, we have a red switch. This red switch, when we flip it to the up position, it's gonna illuminate a light that is on the driver's side of the Revel, and it's gonna light up the whole side of the Revel, giving you light when you want to dump your tanks at night.